And showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the ChannelPro Network, also a host of this program. I am joined this week, as I am every week, by your other host, Eric Simpson, a business transformation and improvement advisor to MSPs and other IT providers. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Rich. I cannot complain. The temperature where I am is not freezing or close to zero, so I have no complaints at all.
I hear there is a rumor that the temperature where you are might actually be in the 70s.
It is in the mid 70s, 75 to be exact today. So I'm not flexing on anybody. I'm just saying no complaints from me.
There you go. It's just something to be grateful for. So I'm glad somebody is warm and comfortable now, and I hope everyone else is as soon as possible as well. Let's dive into this week's top story here, and it involves Kaseya and an acquisition. And how many times has that been true before? They are known for making acquisitions at Kaseya. They have not been shy about this. So this week, though, that they announced that they've acquired a managed security operations center, managed SOC provider named RocketCyber, who will probably be familiar to a lot of folks in the audience out there. And they, there have been a lot of security-related acquisitions by Kaseya in recent years. Rapid Fire Tools, ID Agent. If you count as I do, BDR as part of the security stack, there's Unitrends, there's spanning. So they have a pretty robust set of security technologies and services at Kaseya. But what they're adding now for the first time is an outsourced security service that their MSP partners can take advantage of and deliver to their customers. Interesting reasoning about that. I had a chance to speak with the CEO over there about why they purchased a managed SOC company. And he said that there is a growing percentage of the SMB market out there, and he's just kind of guesstimating it's 20-25% of them now, who are, as he put it, hyper security conscious these days. They are aware of the breaches, the high-profile ransomware attacks, and they really are only going to do business with an MSP who they are confident has the advanced capabilities to protect them from those kinds of threats. And these tend to be the faster growing, the higher spending SMBs out there. So they're an important portion of the end user customer base. And so, MSPs need to have access to a staffed, an expert staffed facility of this kind. And they were very impressed by the business that RocketCyber has built. I should say I have known the folks at RocketCyber. Carl Bonshoff and Billy Austin are the co-founders of the company. They will continue to run it. Just as Kaseya typically does, always does, when they make an acquisition, they're going to let RocketCyber continue to do business the way they've been doing it before, under that name, with the current leadership team. They will be a subsidiary of Kaseya, but still operating as RocketCyber. There are already some integrations between the RocketCyber platform and other Kaseya products. There are more of those coming. And like I said, Carl and Billy will be staying there. I met those guys for the first time November 2018 at the ConnectWise IT Nation event, when they had just come out of stealth mode with RocketCyber. Just a few days earlier, they had opened their doors and gone into business. 2 years, just like 2 years plus after that, Eric, they have sold this business to Kaseya. And they had a very different business model when they opened their doors in 2018, but they realized that what the market wanted and needed most was a managed SOC offering. They officially launched one last August. The Kaseya folks were very impressed by it. They are investing tens of millions of dollars over and above what they paid for the company into that business right now. They're building an entire second security operations facility in Miami right now. There's a third that will open in Dublin for overseas customers in about 90 days or so. And so they are saying, Kaseya is saying, if you're an existing RocketCyber client today, you've got all sorts, what you knew before, but more of it, and an accelerated roadmap, et cetera. So, it's the latest acquisition news for Kaseya, Eric. It's the latest move by a big name in the managed services market into the managed security space.
Yeah, what is it about the term SOC that just having that in your name, it's immediate buzz. And Rich, more and more partners that I work with are looking to replace their, existing jigsaw puzzle relationships with different security vendors that they've, kind of tried to hobble together over time into a relationship with someone that can cover everything that they need, right? And I was just asked by a couple of partners this week via email, hey, I'm really looking for someone that has, all of these features instead of me having to deal with these multiple vendors and making it simpler for me. And the story broke, and I sent them the link. I said, hey, well, have you seen this? Right. So this is something that I think scratches the itch of a lot of MSPs that are more security aware and security strategic than maybe some others that are actually leading with security, seeing security as being the way that they can grow their businesses by creating bundles to resell to their existing clients on other agreements, and then including as a larger suite of services, required services for new customers that they sell services to. So no longer are we, I think, in the era of simply selling managed services without a much stronger focus on some of these security components. Rich, as you and I have talked about many times on this program, the need and the risk is now becoming as great for MSPs as it is for their customers, to not only protect their customers but also themselves. So I like the ability for them to invest in less complex type of relationships, right? When you can invest your time, energy, and effort in one vendor like Kaseya or the others that are out there that are also following similar strategies to try to become the one-stop shop for the MSP, I think that that creates an attraction, and it makes it easier to work with less relationships to grow your business over time.
Yeah, and I mean, you alluded to the fact Kaseya is hardly the only big name in the managed services world right now that believes there is a need for managed SOC, or I mean security generally, but managed SOC maybe particularly.
Mhm.
ConnectWise bought Continuum late in 2019. Continuum had a managed SOC offering. Late in 2020, ConnectWise bought Perch Security and StratoZen, two other companies that kind of play in that SOC SIM space. So, I mean, they've certainly been making investments to build out that kind of capability. SolarWinds MSP has a slightly different model where they make the software that enables that kind of service, but they partner with third parties to actually run the security operations center and deliver that service to the MSP. But there too, lots of investments in security software generally and managed SOC specifically. And I think it's for exactly the reasons that you were outlining there. One, the threat landscape, the need, the demand for these services among the end users, but also that kind of vendor management story in terms of single sourcing a lot of the things that I need to deliver to my customers.
Yep. And we kind of typically talk about the big three, right there. So we know that Kaseya is making heavy investments in building out their security portfolio, as is ConnectWise. And you and I were talking before we started the show today. There is one of the vendors that a lot of MSPs are also investing their time, energy, and effort, and that isn't taking quite as a direct approach on the security side.
It is interesting that of the big, I would think of them as the big four.
Mhm.
ConnectWise, Kaseya, SolarWinds MSP, and
Right.
Datto.
Mhm.
Datto has made a very conscious decision to hold off on making these kinds of investments in the security space. And the last time I had a chance to sit down face to face, I wish I had that opportunity last year. But at the DattoCon event in 2019, speaking with the CEO of that company and with Rob Ray, the VP of Business Development, they both said we can foresee a time when it really makes sense for us to be investing in security and working with our MSP partners that day. We don't feel like that day is here now. Late in 2020, they did an online partner event where this came up again, and Tim Weller, the CEO, said, that day is approaching when the market economics are such that We will want to play in that space, but not here yet. And so it's definitely a contrarian take on where the market is and when it's going to get to that maturity point around security. And it is a contrast and very interesting.
Well, obviously they've got a super secret strategy that they're working on that's prioritizing other things for them. And yes, well corrected. Thank you. The big four, the big four. So absolutely, yeah. So I think again, it's we can see the horse race now, right? We can see the battle, the head to head. I mean, we're watching these moves in almost real time. Almost every month, something is happening on the acquisition side for some of these larger organizations, which certainly keeps us very interested.
Well, Eric, three, four, who's counting? Actually, that is a segue into your tip of the week because it has to do with making sure you got your numbers right.
Yes, absolutely, Rich. And again, this is real world stuff. These tips of the week come from. I try to make them as timely and relevant to what I'm seeing, in the channel and with partners. And I was having a call with one of my clients today, and we were working on their PSA solution. And the primary concern challenge for them is like many MSPs and many IT providers that have customers for many years, we have these legacy deals, legacy agreements, no agreements, just we're doing things and we're billing for some of it and we're giving some of it away and things like that. And so the tip of the week here is all about normalizing the customer data in your PSA solution. And so this particular client of mine basically, had 4 or 5 different types of clients. Each didn't have complete information about the users and the devices that were assigned to them and things like that. So, first level is let's make sure that we're accounting for all the devices properly and we're assigning them to the users correctly. But then the next level is everybody had kind of a little bit different kind of an agreement, right? As they've evolved a little bit. And we worked together over the last month or so, building out a new solution stack with options and things like that for them and pricing it and everything. And now they're going to have this new suite of services that they're selling, but they've got to now go and speak to all of their clients about it. But, since everyone has this different type of service relationship, the first thing that I recommended they do is to segment these customers of theirs, figure out there's 4 or 5 different kinds, find the low hanging fruit ones first. Of course, normalize the data that you have in there first. But then if we want to talk to them about, uh, the discussion is around truing up, right? Some of these folks are paying like rates from 15 years ago, right? So we've got to get them trued up to at least something close to where we are. So segment your clients, figure out which ones are on, the low hanging fruit ones that you can convert quickly, get them on the new agreement, and then start working backwards, easiest to toughest. And don't expect that you can get 100% of your clients on your new agreements. You can certainly get data updated and normalized for all of them, but be satisfied with 80% or so and know that there's going to be some legacy clients that you always have some kind of grandfather relationship with. I think we all do. But make sure that while you're doing that, you're moving forward with new clients with your new agreements and you're onboarding them properly. So you are normalizing all of the data during the onboarding process that you're getting paid for to do and do it right. And then go live once everything is ready, right? You can deliver service during onboarding on a best effort basis, and then have your SLA kick in, right? Be accountable to your SLA once onboarding is complete. And onboarding is complete after you've entered all the information into your systems, after you've trained the users on how to open tickets and they understand, how you categorize and prioritize tickets and all that. Once everything is ready to go, you can choose a go live date. You're now being held accountable to delivering service against your SLA, and you've had the opportunity to get the data in your systems properly rather than trying to rush and deliver service and go live all against SLA at the same time. So do it methodically, get all your data normalized, and you and your clients will be happier and better off for it.
There are a number of different sort of improvements or processes there you're talking about in terms of, truing up the clients and renewing or redoing some agreements and so on. But, that first piece, that normalizing the data piece of what you're talking about there is just so important because until you do that, all of this potentially useful information in your PSA is not nearly as useful as it could be because you can't actually make comparisons across the board, amongst your customers. If you want to know who are the most and least profitable customers, for example, I would assume you've first got to get that data aligned in a way that makes those kind of comparisons possible. So, if there's nothing else that you can accomplish among the things that you were talking about there, I would think just normalizing the data is a big step forward.
And Rich, I'll bet you $1. Like once you normalize that data, you'll find that you weren't even billing your existing clients even on their legacy agreements properly, because if it's not accurate and up to date, uh, then you're just working off of bad old data. So I guarantee you, just going through this exercise and getting everybody up to a minimum standard of data normalcy, you'll find where you've missed billing, and then you'll have to figure out how to have that conversation later. Well, for the last 4 years, right? So anyway, yeah, data, and it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't have the data, then you can't justify your invoicing properly. So step one, right?
All right. Well, that leaves us with time for just one more story this week, folks. And Eric and I, we have much to be grateful for in the world, including the fact that we are both employed, fully employed, maybe some weeks too fully employed, which is why this particular job listing I came across recently here jumped out at me because there's a certain appeal to it. A company called Sleep Standards, which operates a website that dispenses sleep advice and reviews sleep aid products and so on. They are looking to hire somebody who they are going to pay $2,000 to go sleep for 5 nights in 5 different locations, and then rate these locations and I don't know the mattress and various sleep related products for them. So you're getting paid $2,000 plus expenses to sleep for 5 nights. And at one of these 5 locations you go to is apparently a 5-star resort. So I don't know if and you have until March 30th to file an application, folks. By the way, so you are not too late. If this sounds of interest to you, Sleep Standards, check it out.
Yeah, that's decent work when you can find it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, that is all the time we've got this week on the 5-Minute Roundup. We thank you so much for joining us here. If you like the show, you maybe want to take a look at some episodes you didn't see in the past, hear about the new ones when they become available. Best thing to do is go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube and become a subscriber. If you click that little bell icon, you're going to get notifications when the new episodes go up. You want to read more about Kaseya buying RocketCyber, read more about what's happening in the news, get all sorts of great business growth advice for your company, please visit ChannelProNetwork.com every day because we have got great new content going live for you there every day. To learn more about Eric and the work he does with his clients, go to ErickSimpson.com, ERICK Simpson.com. So once again, that's our show for this week. We're going to be back again next week with another episode of the 5-Minute Roundup. Until then, folks, please enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.
Already.